Good morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday, the 22nd day of September 2022. I hope you're all healthy and safe today, and I hope the same could be said for your family, that you're all healthy and safe, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders, whose jobs every day, 24/7, 365, is to save lives. Blessings also upon those that pick up garbage to keep streets and sidewalks and parks, highways clean. And those also that make deliveries of things like food for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and the children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. And those also that are victims of prostitution and child prostitution. Those that are victims of pornography and child pornography. Those that are victims also of human trafficking and sex slavery, and double curses on those perpetrators, those perverts, and those profiteers who are trafficking in this human misery. Finally, blessings upon the homeless. Nearly 600,000 men, women, and children on the streets of the United States with no roof over their heads, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions, and blessings upon them. For theirs is the kingdom. Today, as we're about to start the New York Knicks 2022-2023 season, we've been talking about various players and how this year will be affected. We talked about Jalen Brunson. We talked about Cam Reddish. We talked about R.J. Barrett. We talked about Mitchell Robinson. We talked about Julius Randle in almost every video. Today, I want to talk about all of these factors together to make a successful season for the New York Knicks. The main factors that we're going to be dealing with today. Number one, I want to also take this as a subset of the main factors. The main factors: Julius Randle's attitude, Cam Reddish's health, Tom Thibodeau's rotations. Those are the main factors. As a subset of those factors, I want to also include Evan Fournier. Because Evan Fournier, by Ian Begley's account, and some of y'all don't want to hear what Ian Begley said, you don't want to listen to it, you don't want to believe it, but he basically stated Evan Fournier is not starting this year, that the starting five is going to change. And based on that, based on the performance defensively of Fournier and Kemba Walker last year, either Quentin Grimes or Cam Reddish will start. Cam Reddish at the 3 would move RJ to the 2, as we discussed. That is, to me, the dream lineup, which would be Jalen Brunson, RJ Barrett at the 2, Cam Reddish at the 3, Mitchell Robinson at the 5. And I would like Obi Toppin, but we kind of figure we're settling on Julius Randle for now. Julius Randle at the 4. So that would be the ideal lineup based on the talent we now have, which I believe can go a long way based on these factors we're talking about in terms of risk factors. But if Evan Fournier moves to the bench, now last year, Evan Fournier was not being played in fourth quarters at some point. If you remember, Evan Fournier was on the bench at critical times in the fourth quarter because Thibs did not trust him defensively, trust him offensively, but he was a liability defensively. That being the case, if this year Quentin Grimes moves into the starting lineup or RJ moves to the 2 with Cam going into the starting lineup, how will Evan Fournier react to that? Will he react well? Will he say, I'll do anything for the team to help us win? Or will he be not happy? And that unhappiness can go into the locker room and cause problems, which would facilitate a move of Evan Fournier. Maybe that's what they're doing now, because I have read today that there was talk by certain content creators on Twitter that say the Knicks are still engaging in trade talks even right now. They did not specify what player or players would be discussed. But my guess would be Evan Fournier and Julius Randle. I don't believe, and I never have believed, they want to trade Obi Toppin. If there's a move between the 4 spot between Toppin and Randle, it would be Randle. We already know that the Knicks tried to trade Randle, but that nobody would take him without attaching a pick to him, and that the Don refused to do that. So I don't know how that's changed, but I would think, given the situation with a Cam, given the situation at the 2 spot with Grimes, I'm thinking it's Evan Fournier. If he doesn't get traded and he has to come off the bench, how will he react? Personally, I tend to believe that Fournier off the bench will be more effective than Fournier in the starting lineup. That Fournier off the bench will be more effective because going against second units, I think Fournier would be second unit type all-star. Not all-star NBA, I'm saying just, a top player on second unit because of his shooting ability. I'm thinking he would be very effective coming off the bench as a shooter. I'm thinking he would be that type of guy, like a Kyle Korver coming off the bench. Kyle Korver wasn't no defensive ace either, but very effective coming off the bench for teams like Cleveland with LeBron, right? Very effective coming off the bench. And I think Fournier would be the same. The problem then would be if you're starting, say, Grimes. Does Fournier affect Cam's minutes? Does Fournier affect IQ's minutes? Does Fournier affect D Rose's minutes? So now you have a logjam. And I don't know how Thibs are going to handle that. But that's a problem. That's an issue. Okay? That's an issue. So if you don't put Fournier, if you decide to play the backcourt of, let's say, IQ and D Rose in the second unit, which is dynamic, how does Fournier handle that? Okay? And if you have Grimes come off the bench, you must have Grimes. Grimes is going to be there. And if Grimes is starting, you must have Cam. I would really rather have Cam than Fournier coming into that second unit, to be quite honest with you, if Cam is not starting. So therein lies an issue with Fournier. And that's a sub issue. And it's still an issue. One issue we talked about, Julius Randle's attitude. It doesn't matter if Grimes is starting or Cam is starting. Jalen Brunson's going to have the ball in their hands. RJ is going to be starting, and he's going to be your second option. With the ball in JB's hands, he's the first option. That would make Julius Randle a third option, which is very good if he accepts that. Less touches for him. Less dribbling the ball for him. Less handling the ball in general for him. More getting him in scoring positions that he could be effective in. More efficiency from him. But the non-ability or the lack thereof or the shortage of him dribbling the ball off the court, will he handle that well? Will he handle that well? Or will he say, I'm glad to get rid of this and let somebody that knows what they're doing with the basketball handle this? We don't know. If he decides to, let's say, accept that third option position and become a power forward of a rebounding and efficient low post player, we got something. Then we got something. Okay? But if his attitude is anything like it was last year, if he doesn't handle the boo birds that he's going to get at MSG this year, he's going to get some boo birds. If he handles that well and if he just accepts that butt whipping from the fans and moves forward and is gracious about it, I think he'll be all right. But if he doesn't, that's going to be a problem. That's going to affect the Knicks team. It's going to affect wins and losses. It's going to affect how we do business. Next, that brings me to the next coup. Tom Thibodeau. Tom Thibodeau's rotations cost us, I said at least 4 games, and I got all kind of howls. It was way more than 4. I said I was being conservative. Some of y'all need to calm down. But it did cost us some wins last year. His rotations, his decision-making cost us wins last year. Playing Alec Burks out of position cost us wins last year. Not giving Obi Toppin and especially Emmanuel Quickley more time, more minutes at that spot cost us games last year. Overplaying Alec Burke on a team that was a starting 5 that was negative cost us last year. What will he do this year? And this is the thing. I think all of us agree. Thibs is on the spot, the hot seat. He's on hot seat. If he don't come correct and put his best 5 out there, or if he don't make adjustments when his so-called best 5, as it was later, is underperforming, we're going to have a problem. If he comes out like he did last year with a stupid statement that says, they asked him, why are you starting Alec Burke at the point? Well, he's our best option. That was one of the dumbest statements I heard from him all last year. Alec Burke was our best option at the point. That's why I'm putting him there. If he comes out stupid like that, it's going to hurt us as a team in terms of wins and losses. And in that case, there will be a coaching change. Now, even if there is a coaching change, sometimes coaching changes work well. I remember the Nets, when they had Jason Kidd back in the day, they fired their coach and replaced him with a guy named Frank. I forgot his first name. His last name was Frank, but they went on like a 16-game winning streak when Frank took over. Okay, redhead dude, man, redhead coach. I don't even know where he is now. But they went on a long winning streak as soon as Frank took over. Sometimes it works really well. The Cavaliers were struggling with this European coach. Then they put Tyronn Lue in there, and all of a sudden they win the chip. So I don't know. Sometimes it works well. Sometimes it's disastrous. So a coaching change is always risky. So we'd rather Thibs come correct. We'd rather him come correct. Okay? Never mind reliance on a lineup out of stubbornness that leads to stupidity. Let's go with your best lineup and let's run with that. And let's use your bench in the fourth quarter to win some games. Let's not run your starting five into the ground. These are things that we got to see. Julius Randle has led the league in minutes or been close to that. We can't have that. RJ Barrett has been right there with him. We can't have that either. Even effectiveness is affected by, no pun intended, overuse. So he has to learn to monitor the minutes of his starting five. And now we know, again, it don't matter if Grimes or Cam is coming off the bench. When you're talking about a mob deep that includes D Rose, IQ, either Cam or Grimes, and Obi Toppin, when you're talking about a mob deep like that, you need to use them. And you don't need to overplay your starting five when you have that type of second unit. Hopefully he learns that. If he doesn't, it's going to be rough on us. It's going to be frustrating. It's going to cost us games. And finally, he'll be fired and we have to start over in the middle of the season. It's just, and then that's a risk. Finally, we talked about the health of Cam Reddish. If Cam Reddish is healthy, the young man has all-star talent. He's more talented than RJ. And I'm not saying that's not a new knock on RJ. I think RJ could be all-star this year. But natural talent, natural ability, length, quickness, speed, athleticism, Cam is the man. If he can be healthy this year, it's almost like we talked about the steroid effect of Donovan Mitchell or a player like a Donovan Mitchell. And let me just review what I mean by the steroid effect. As I said, top athletes, and I use track and field mostly as the litmus for this. Track and field athletes that are top notch, or just top notch, natural ability, genetics, and hard work make them what they are. You got to have all that to be a world-class track and field athlete. But those sometimes has that, and then they'll add a steroid or a performance-enhancing drug that brings them to another level. And I also mentioned Barry Bonds in baseball. Barry Bonds was a MVP with the Pittsburgh Pirates before he came to San Francisco. And he was about 185 pounds. Then he started souping up on the steroids. All of a sudden he hit 70-something home runs in a year. All of a sudden he eclipses Babe Ruth and Hank Aaron and everybody. Because now he's 200-something pounds and he's knocking everything out the park because he put the PED on his already performance. He was already a talented all-star MVP player. And he added to that. Having a player that's an all-star level player on a team that's up and coming, like the Knicks, it's like having a PED. It brings you to that level, that next level. So you got to be in that 45-win, 8-seed spot. And then you get that next boost from either development of somebody you got, like the Celtics did with the development of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. They didn't come into the league as all-stars. But they got to that point where they were budding, they were pushing, they were losing to your eventual champions. They were losing in the first and second round. Then all of a sudden, those two cats developed to another level, and Boston's in the finals. All of a sudden, Marcus Smart found a jump shot, where in the first 5 years in the league, he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. All of a sudden, he found a jump shot, and with the all deep NBA defense that he already displays, all of a sudden, they're in the finals. See, now with Cam Reddish and RJ Barrett takes that next leap. We got Jalen Brunson. If Cam Reddish can move into Cam Reddish talent level in terms of his health, if he stays healthy, and I believe that cream's going to rise to the top. If he stays healthy And Tom Thibodeau does the right thing by at least having him in that 9-man rotation, that 8-man rotation. But he really should start at the 3 and put RJ to the 2, because now you see Tom Thibodeau likes a 2 guard that plays defense. That's why I'm telling you Evan Fournier is out. He always has a 2 guard, a Luol Deng type dude that can play defense at the 2 spot. He don't always have an all-NBA defender at the point guard spot, if you look at his history. But he always likes a top-level defender at the 2 spot. That ain't Evan Fournier. It is RJ Barrett. It is Quentin Grimes. It is Cam Reddish. So if he follows suit that he has a Jalen Brunson, who is obviously going to be given the keys to the team, there's no doubt. There's no question who your starting point guard is. No question. They went and reduced cap space, traded players, giving away the 11th pick, and they got Jalen Brunson. With all of that, he's starting at the 1. There's no question. He's starting at the 1. There's no earning the spot with Jalen Brunson. He starts at the 1. He is like Thibs' grandson for real, because him and Thibs is, and Jalen Brunson, Thibs and J. Rick Brunson they go back a long way. Homies. So Jalen Brunson's starting at the point guard spot. And Jalen Brunson's a scrapper, so he's not just going to let people roll through the lane, but he's short, 6'1", little stocky dude, play with his mind, but his physical ability may not be there. So you need a guy that's a defensive stopper next to him. That's why I say I'd like it if he started Grimes at the 2 and RJ at the 3, but man, if he puts RJ at that 2 spot and he puts Cam Reddish at the 3 and Cam stays healthy. This is what the third thing is. Cam must stay healthy. If he does, top 6. I don't care who got to fall. Like I told you in the video, I don't care who got to fall. Somebody falling out the top 6 and we taking a spot. Period. Who it is, that's their business. Because if Cam is healthy and we roll with that. See, even if D Rose hurts himself, D Rose going to be 34. 34 in October. Yeah, he's 195 pounds. Yeah, he's like he was when he was a rookie. But look, 34 is 34. Multiple knee injuries are multiple knee injuries. He's not going to give you 30 minutes a game of MVP Derrick Rose. That's not coming. But if we can get 15 minutes of it, that's good. But even if we don't, see, a lot of people look at last year and the year before, man, if D Rose is healthy, we're so much better when D Rose was there. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. But this year we got Brunson. We got IQ. IQ's developed, y'all. This ain't last year IQ. This ain't rookie year IQ. This is IQ 3rd year. And we still got Deuce McBride. So we got some backup. We got backup. Okay? So if D Rose is good, we'll be good. If D Rose not so good, we still gonna be good. Okay? So I don't put D Rose in that important category in terms of his health. If he's good, we still good. If he's not good, we still good. Because we got backup this year. We ain't got no Alec Burks coming in. We good. But Cam, I'm telling you, the reason, again, let me just reiterate, the reason Cam is so important, because he has talent. He's got really high-level NBA talent. And he's working hard. He just needs to stay healthy. Man, it's almost like getting a Donovan Mitchell, but better. If you get Cam Reddish healthy and you put him at that 3 spot. So this is the big factors. Julius's attitude, we're going to find out. See, Julius being in shape. Some of you say, well, he's in the best shape of his life. That don't mean jack. Julius always in shape. That don't mean jack. It's right here that we have a problem with Julius Randle. Right here. IQ level. We have a problem with Julius Randle. Not him being in shape. Yeah, he's in shape. He lost weight. Okay, big deal. Great. Is he going to accept being the 3rd option? That's what we want to know. And Tom Thibodeau's rotation. Boy, as stubborn as a mule. Will he learn from the past mistakes? Will he really? If he does, we're in good shape. If not, it could be a long season. And he can be on vacation early. And Johnny Bryant is next in line. I don't mind that. But man, why can't he just do the right thing and let's just go through the season and do what we do and get this 45 plus wins? And then there's the health of Cam Reddish, which is tied to Thibodeau's rotation. If Thibodeau does the stupid thing and sit this boy, we're going to have a problem. But if he plays him, and this is what I want to reiterate, it's going to look pretty bad for Thibs to not play Cam Reddish, who they sent the 1st round pick and Kevin Knox out to get. If Cam is balling out and is in top shape in the camp, it's going to be hard for Thibs not to play him. I don't care how stubborn he is. Y'all got to remember, he's being watched. He's on the notice right now. Worldwide West raised all kind of cane this past season behind Thibs. And while he's not the Don, he don't make the final decision, you best believe he has some juice. So Thibs is on notice. So if Cam is busting it out and he's healthy, he ain't spraining no ankles or nothing, no Achilles, no shoulder, he's coming out killing, you got to play him. If you don't, you got a problem. And I believe again in his talent. I believe in Cam Reddish's talent. He just has to stay healthy. See, that's the thing about it. Got to stay healthy. Okay? With Thibs, availability is one of the top-notch things. He will sit you if you're not available, even if you come back from your injury. He will sit you. Okay? So you got to come out healthy. You got to stay available. You got to be ready. Come on, Cam. We pulling for you, young boy. That's what we want. All right? So you got Julius Randle's attitude, Thibs' rotation, Reddish's health, and as a subtext, Evan Fournier. Will he accept coming off the bench? What is his role? Who's going to suffer less minutes? And that's what some of y'all, now get some of y'all, we got to put Fournier, he's a shooter. Okay. Who's going to sit? Is it IQ? Who you sitting? Is it Cam? That would be dumb. Who you sitting? Is it Grimes? No. Who's going to get less minutes for Fournier to come off the bench and play? You got to decide that. That's a decision that has to be made. And if you decide, okay, I'm sitting Cam and Cam is killing in practice and destroying Fournier and you sitting him, that's you, baby. That's your job right there. So what you going to do? Okay? It ain't an easy decision. It's easy for me. If it was me, it's Cam. As long as he's healthy, it's Cam. Okay? Sorry, Evan. Yeah, we paying you $18 million. That was a mistake. Collect your money. Enjoy it. If you want to be traded, let's work that out for him. But I'm paying Cam. You know why? He will help us win 45 games and more. That's why. You'll have a good Thursday. Shalom.